What's the plan, Stan? Guess what? Chicken butt. I do the hoopa-pa-pa.
Yo, Jordan Sather, Destroying the Illusion, July 14th. We're going to discuss some health news in this one today, but before we do that, I want to reiterate the point of these videos. Now, the point of these videos is to quickly just go over the latest stories that are being peddled to us by the mainstream news, tell you why they're bullshit, and offer you quick reasons as to why they may or may not be bullshit, right? So, I have aspirations of writing very well-referenced books and doing deep research for video series and all that jazz, but in the meantime, this is just a very easy way to help increase the collective consciousness, right? I go through the propaganda, I offer you a lot of keywords, key concepts, some knowledge that I've come across in my experiences as to why this propaganda is bullshit, okay? And how you can best utilize these videos for yourself is to take these keywords and key concepts that I quickly discuss and continue researching them, right? The main point of these videos is to make you better bullshit detectors with the mainstream media. So continue researching, write down the keywords that you might not understand that I say, and understand that I'm not some magic guru. I'm simply just giving you my knowledge, my experience to help us all become better well-read, so we're not sideswiped by any MSM BS. So anyway, into the news for today, we're going to talk about cancer really quick. Hopefully I can give you some better answers for cancer than these mainstream media, mainstream science, the educators of us today give you. So this article, this first one, comes to us by way of the Washington Post, which, remember, the Washington Post was bought by Amazon in 2013 with $600 million that the CIA offered them. So keep that in mind while we read this article. What it says is that an exciting new cancer treatment has just been endorsed by the FDA. And apparently a couple days ago, the Fraud and Death Administration, as we so call them, enthusiastically endorsed a first-of-its-kind cancer treatment that uses patients' revved-up immune cells to fight the disease. So apparently this magic new therapy that's called the CAR T-cell therapy genetically alters our own immune system cells to fight cancer with. And what they did was they messed with immune cells, they altered cells to combat childhood leukemia, very advanced forms of leukemia that elsewise was not responding to conventional cancer treatments. Now let's take a step back really quick. I want to discuss immunotherapy and my thoughts on that. So, immunotherapy, right? It's been touted as this magic new model, marvel of modern medicine, and even in this article, a panel member said it's the most exciting thing I've seen in my lifetime. Panel member, or an oncologist at the Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio here. So it's this magic new marvel of modern medicine. What I think's going on is that Big Pharma is trying to find ways to continue cancer patients on their created therapies without getting them onto chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. Okay, so enough people are waking up to the perils of the cut, poison, burn medical system, of using toxic chemotherapy drugs and nasty radiation, that Big Pharma is offering them a new solution, touting it as being a magic new thing, but what they're gonna do is make it very exclusive and very freaking expensive. So in this article, they say that to ensure safety of this new immunotherapy, it's only gonna be used at 30 to 35 clinics nationwide. So as you can see, the FDA is monopolizing the shit out of it. So they're making it very, very exclusive so they can jack up the absolute price of this stuff. I bet you these therapies cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what people are going to think, in the mainstream level, nationwide, they're going to think, oh wow, you know, if I have cancer, I'm going to need this new immunotherapy, but I'm going to need some damn good insurance, pay top premium for it, or pay out the yin yang for this therapy, right? Because I don't want chemo, I don't want radiation, those are nasty. I'm getting that. So I'm going to need this new immunotherapy. I'm going to need to genetically alter myself to fight a disease that is caused by genetic alterations. Scratch your head at that one. Do you see how that flips around there? So that's the basics behind immunotherapy, is that they're creating this magic new thing to get people off the last one, make it expensive, make it exclusive, and genetically alter you. Wow. Okay? But what about all of the other therapies that we do very well know cures cancer? And they cure cancer very well, very efficiently. But these cures for cancer do not make the pharmaceutical companies, obviously, their money. The pharmaceutical industry, it's one of the most profitable industries for the deep state or the owner, the powers that be, per se. Over $1 trillion per year via pharmaceutical medication worldwide alone. Massive cash crop there. So these have all been suppressed throughout history. We have Dr. Max Gerson, who was curing cancer with just juice and diet-based therapies 80 years ago in America here. He was vilified and basically run out of business by the Fraud and Death Administration. Dr. Royal Rife, who was curing cancers at a very high success rate with simply targeted vibration therapies, frequency therapies, with his Rife machines, as they're called now. Brzezinski, a dude who's still alive, I believe he was in Texas, curing people with his anti-neoplaston therapies. And then we have a bunch of other natural stuff. We have vitamin B17 found in very high amounts in apricot kernels, and we have the oxygen therapies like MMS and food-grade hydroperoxide. So there's so many things out there that can do wonders with cancer, but they don't tell you about any of those. They just want you on their expensive-ass, brand-new immunotherapies. And one last note about all of this stuff, you know, all of these therapies that have been suppressed, they are immunotherapies, okay? Immunotherapy, right? That's exactly what true health is helping your own genetics express itself better, okay? We have to kind of flip our mindset around when it comes to genetics and understand that genetics is a complete responsibility of us, okay? It's this whole idea of genetic victimization is at the root of the falseness and the lies of modern medicine. When it comes to natural therapies, the point in them is to make you detoxified and give you the nutrients and antioxidants that your bodies need to express your genetics better, right? You eat healthy food, you're giving yourself immunotherapy in that instant. If you take medicinal mushrooms or B17 or things like that, you're helping your own genetics express itself better to kill cancer. Even your thoughts, as Dr. Bruce Lipton has outlined, help is a form of immunotherapy and helps your genetics express better. So we have to rephrase our thinking. We have a lot of foundational theories we have to unlearn and relearn with. So you can give yourself immunotherapy through natural methods. And there are many natural therapies out there that help to express your genetics far better than what pharma is pushing today. So that's a quick few minutes on cancer that I wanted to discuss with you guys with. Some ideas on immunotherapy and genetic victimization, all that jazz. And again, here's a bunch of those keywords to go research for yourself as well. Gerson, Rife, MMS, I've seen these personally and have experience with them. And they work great, so check them out. And then next, we're going to get into some vaccine stuff. So there's been a huge vaccine push I've seen in the media lately, and there is just all kinds of news stories that make me freaking facepalm myself. And the first one is this by way of Futurism, and it said that new trials show hope for personalized cancer vaccines. Jesus Christ, like, I don't know how you could get more backwards than this. So apparently they're saying vaccines can now prevent cancer. I don't know, man. But again, back into the cancer question. Eat healthy food. Keep your body detoxified. Keep all the poisons out of your body that knock your genetics out of place in the first place. And do the things necessary to keep your genetics expressing strong. Okay? It's very simple. I mean, simpler said than done, I guess. But it's not that difficult to understand these concepts because they begin to connect all the dots. So, personalized cancer vaccines, big ol' BS stamp on that one. And then a next article I saw on Science News, and this one says, a vaccine against meningitis has an unexpected side effect. It appears to target gonorrhea too. So they're taking an STD, which a lot of people don't even want to talk about in the first place, and they're trying to control the minds of people and say that it gets a magic new weapon against it, a vaccine, right? So they're trying to tell you that vaccines will prevent cancer, and they'll prevent these STDs, and they'll prevent all of these nasty diseases that you don't want to get. And that's the primary objective of their vaccine propaganda, is fear. And this is where you insert the idea of problem, reaction, solution, okay? The problem that the powers that be are controlling your mind with is the fear of disease. It's the fear of, oh, you're going to die if you don't get this vaccine, right? You're going to die, you'll get sick, you might not be able to prevent your gonorrhea. You could prevent your cancer if you get this vaccine, right? So they're instilling you these ideas of fear to make you react, for which they then offer the solution that they've already pre-planned, being vaccine programs and pharmaceutical meds and shit like that, to give you. So it's problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, which there's not even a problem in the first place, right? If we didn't have vaccines and we live much healthier lives, there would be no problem. But they create the problem mentally in your head to make you react, for which they already have the solution planned out, which is vaccine programs to make you more sick with. So, goddamn, it is ingenious, right? They've done a damn good job at doing what they've done. But let's see through that, and let's help our friends and family see through that. So, bunch of BS about vaccines. And, I mean, if you want more stuff to research in regards to vaccines, look into Dr. Suzanne Humphries. She's done fantastic work on explaining how vaccines don't even target the correct immune system response in the first place. They target an acute immune response, or hypersensitize your immune system, making more chronic disease as opposed to actually combat a lot of these diseases. And there's so many other people out there. I mean, we have Dr. Russell Blaylock, who's done great YouTube lectures on the toxins in vaccines and all that. So again, lots of stuff to research there. And then this article I saw really grinded my gears, really pissed me off, and that said, people with autism are better at avoiding sneaky marketing tricks. And they said it's a secret freaking superpower. How awful is that they're trying to normalize the dysfunction? Now, when it comes to autism, it's so sad these days that so many children are toxified through things like vaccines and bad food, and the women who are pregnant themselves don't live healthy lifestyles, so they're intaking so many poisons without even realizing it, that these children are coming out with so many neurodevelopmental diseases that it's, you know, it's becoming an epidemic. Autism is an epidemic. It's not genetic, right? Genetic diseases don't go from 1 in 10,000 30, 40 years ago to 1 in 40 now, right? So what they're trying to do is make the population think that these are good. So they don't even realize how prevalent it's becoming, and they don't begin to question the reasons behind why things like autism are becoming so prevalent. So these type of normalizing articles are just so painful to see reach the public limelight and see people think that this is good when it's really not. We need to take care of our bodies, you know, especially when we're trying to make children, and when these children come out, we need to take care of them and understand that dysfunction's not normal. We need to keep our children healthy and detoxify their bodies if they do start showing signs of dis-ease. Now, when it comes, like I said earlier, to the FDA, the Fraud and Death Administration, I have, one time when I was working at that health food store, I was selling products that would help detoxify your nervous system, help get heavy metals and fluorides and pesticide residues out of your nervous system. And the company that I was working with, selling at the time, I wasn't selling it, I was working at a store and we had it in stock, but I saw this company literally shut down by the FDA. They were raided, they were, their bank accounts were frozen, their products were taken, and they were hit with so many litigation fees that they could not continue. And they were shut down a couple of years ago. And I had direct contact with the company. And, that'll be a story for another time. In fact, I'll probably do a video on that one of these days and tell you that story. But let me tell you, the FDA, they want as much information not out there, as much true information not out there as they can. So understand what you're seeing when you see these normalization articles, and realize that the same people that set up the FDA set up the education system themselves. That's why they call it Rockefeller medicine. And then lastly, what I want to go over really, really quick, it's already way too long of a video than I wanted, is bullshit health advice. And I saw another article giving us some of that in the mainstream. This one comes to us by way of Business Insider, and it says, drinking more coffee is associated with a longer life. Let me tell you, no it's not. This is very similar to the news articles that were circulating around the interwebs and making its way into the collective consciousness a couple months ago about wine being healthy. And it was saying that a glass or two of wine a day is great for your heart, right? Understand, when they do studies, it's very freaking easy to botch information and put out specific narratives out there. So when you see these articles that really don't make sense, it's because they actually don't make sense. Why would wine, alcohol itself, a documented poison, be healthy for you in any way, shape, or form? Okay? Why would coffee, a poison, be help you live a longer life in any way, shape, or form, right? And trust me, you can lie to yourself and make up any excuse as you want as to, to continue with your coffee addiction. But I live near Seattle. I live in the coffee capital of the world. It's an addiction. It's a very bad addiction. Coffee is not only a diuretic, it'll dehydrate you, it'll stress your kidneys out, but it'll also stress your nervous system out especially. It'll screw with your dopamine and serotonin receptors in your brain. Coffee is not good. That's why so many people get headaches when they try to withdraw from it, because their brain's like, oh, I need that drug. It is a drug. It's one of the most socially acceptable drugs it seems there is. And I tell you these things with tough love. If you are a coffee addict, trust me, I've been there with coffee. I still drink coffee and caffeine. Too much of it, definitely. And I'm trying to ease my way off of it. So I tell you these things through experience and through researching them myself. Because I'm like, man, if I'm doing this to myself, I'm going to research what it's doing to me. And I know exactly what that caffeine and coffee is doing to me, which is thus why I'm trying to ease off of it. And I'm urging you to ease off of it as well and not listen to their BS health advice this week. Just a couple weeks ago, it was coconut oil giving you heart disease. Now it's coffee making you live longer and vaccines preventing cancer and crap like that. So anyway, there's 20 minutes of health rant for you today. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all for your support on Patreon, PayPal, all that jazz, sharing these videos, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.